Question: wasn't it irresponsible for the Buddha to walk out on his wife and child? Answer: it couldn't have been an easy thing for the Buddha to leave his family. He must have worried and hesitated for a long time before he finally left. But he had a choice between dedicating himself to his family or dedicating himself to the world. In the end, his great compassion made him give himself to the whole world, and the whole world still benefits from his sacrifice. This was not irresponsible. It was perhaps the most significant sacrifice ever made. Question: if the Buddha is dead, how can he help us? Answer: Faraday, who discovered electricity, is dead, but what he discovered still helps us. Louis Pasteur, who found the cures for so many diseases, is also dead, but his medical discoveries still save lives. Leonardo da Vinci, who created masterpieces of art, is dead, but what he created can still uplift the heart and give joy. Great heroes and heroines may have been dead for centuries, but when we read of their deeds and achievements, we can still be inspired to act as they did. Yes, the Buddha passed away but 2,500 years. Later, his teachings still help people. His example still inspires people. His words still change lives. Only a Buddha could have such power centuries after his passing. Question: was the Buddha a god? Answer: no, he was not. He did not claim that he was a god, the child of a god, or even the messenger from a god. He was a human being who perfected himself, and taught that if we follow his example, we could perfect ourselves also. Question: if the Buddha is not a god, why do people worship him? Answer: there are different types of worship. When someone worships a god, they praise him or her, make offerings, and ask for favors, believing that the god will hear their praise, receive their offerings, and answer their prayers. Buddhists do not practice this kind of worship. The other kind of worship is when we show respect to someone or something we admire. When a teacher walks into a room, we stand up. When we meet a dignitary, we shake hands. When the national anthem is played, we salute. These are all gestures of respect and worship and indicate our admiration for a specific person or thing. This is the type of worship Buddhists practice. A statue of the Buddha with its hands resting gently in its lap and its compassionate smile reminds us to strive to develop peace and love within ourselves. The perfume of incense reminds us of the pervading influence of virtue. The lamp reminds us of the light of knowledge, and the flowers, which soon fade and die, reminds us of impermanence. When we bow, we express our gratitude to the Buddha for what his teachings have given us. This is the meaning of Buddhist worship. Question: but I have heard people say that Buddhists worship idols. Answer: such statements only reflect the misunderstanding of the persons who make them. The dictionary defines an idol as an image or statue worshipped as a god. As we have seen, Buddhists do not believe that the Buddha was a god. So how could they possibly believe that a piece of wood or metal is a god? All religions use symbols to represent their various beliefs. In Taoism, the yin-yang diagram is used to symbolize the harmony between opposites. In Sikhism, the sword is used to symbolize spiritual struggle. In Christianity, the fish is used to symbolize Christ's presence and a cross to represent his sacrifice. In Buddhism, the statue of the Buddha reminds us of the human dimension in Buddhist teaching. The fact that Buddhism is human-centered rather than God-centered, that we must look within, not without, to find perfection and understanding. Therefore, to say that Buddhists worship idols is as silly as saying that Christians worship fish or geometrical shapes. Question: why do people do all kinds of strange things in Buddhist temples? Answer: many things seem strange to us when we don't understand them. Rather than dismiss such things as strange, we should try to find their meaning. However, it is true that some of the things Buddhists do have their origin in popular superstition and misunderstanding, rather than the teaching of the Buddha. And such misunderstandings are not found in Buddhism alone, but creep in all religions from time to time. The Buddha taught with clarity and in detail, and if some people fail to understand fully, he cannot be blamed for that. There is a saying from the Buddhist scriptures: if a person suffering from a disease does not seek treatment even when there is a physician at hand, it is not the fault of the physician. In the same way, If a person is oppressed and tormented by the disease of the defilements but does not seek the help of the Buddha, that is not the Buddha's fault, Jingar 28:9. Nor should Buddhism or any religion be judged by those who don't practice it properly. If you wish to know the real teachings of Buddhism, read the Buddha's words, or speak to those who understand them properly. Question: I see the word Dhamma often. What does it mean? Answer: the word Dhamma, Sanskrit Dharma, has multiple meanings, but as it is used in Buddhism, its main meaning is truth, reality, actuality, the way things are. Because we consider the Buddha's teachings to be true, we often refer to them as Dhamma too. Question: is there a Buddhist equivalent of Christmas? Answer: according to tradition, Prince Siddhartha was born, became the Buddha, and passed away on the full moon day of Vesak, the second month of the Indian year, which corresponds to April-May of the Western calendar. On that day, Buddhists in all lands celebrate these events by visiting temples, participating in various ceremonies, or perhaps spending the day meditating.